Hey everyone, today I want to talk about the gift of interruption. I think something that's just been dawning on me the last week or so, being stuck in a home every day, like the quarantine, especially in California where I am right now. There's this thing that I learned from a book called 7 Habits of a Highly Effective Leader of Perspective. The gentleman tells a story, and I'm going to tell you the story, and I want to talk about some of the things that come along with it. So the story begins with this. He's a doctor. He was just finishing his shift. He wanted to get home to his wife and his children. And he was in New York, so he had to hop on a subway to get home. And he was sitting on the subway, just thinking about his kids, thinking about getting home to his wife. And this gentleman comes in and sits next to him. And he has his kids with him. And the kids are just like running all over the subway, going back and forth. And he's just like watching this father just stare at the ground, and he's like, is the father gonna watch his kids? Doesn't he have any dignity to pay attention to his children? So the gentleman's getting even more upset because he's like, I'm a father, I should tell this guy what he's doing. And he's starting to just get worked up and worked up and worked up. And the kids get farther and farther away from the father, and he's like, okay, these kids could get kidnapped right now, something could happen to these kids. And then he's like, man, I think I need to tell him to pay attention to his kids. Then from there, the kids start to jump from cart to cart. And he's like, okay, that's it. I'm upset. I'm frustrated. I'm angry now. And then he goes and he turns to the father out of anger and says, hey, aren't you going to control your kids? And in that moment, the father looks up and he says, huh? Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just trying to figure out, we've been stuck in the hospital and just trying to figure out how to tell my kids that their mom just died. And the gentleman just was like so caught in that moment. He said what changed for him was quicker than a snap of a finger. His posture went from anger to compassion. And he said it was the greatest lesson he ever learned in that moment, was how quickly something can change if we just have if we had a change in perspective. So how are we looking at this time is something that I want to offer you guys. I think these are moments when we can really find a different pattern, maybe. This is a time where our normal pattern has been interrupted. And then when you're home more often, you probably are also feeling the exhaustion, some of the hard work that you're doing, and then having to shift your whole routine. You get tired easily, a little bit more easily. So I want to touch base on a couple of things today. Our energy, our food, and our fitness, our exercise. And then also, how do we set up for this? So what's so important is, I think you've now experienced it for maybe a little bit over a week, maybe more for some of you. And I just want to give you the permission to say, let's take this next week on a little bit better, a little bit more in tune to go after this week a little bit more, because when do we ever get time where we're not interrupted as much? We're interrupted by maybe our children, but that's a great thing. You want to be interrupted by them. You want to have this time with them. You want to have this time with your partner. Or if you're just alone, this is an amazing time to look inward and find that inner fight of, what do you want to go after now? This is your time. You don't get times like this that often in life. But what usually I know has gotten in my way in the past is fear, trust, and also just, the worry and just kind of trying to anticipate and trying to figure things out, rather than going, okay, what is this time about for me? So how do we get there to be available for those things? It's your energy, your food, and your fitness. So that's how I want to encourage you guys with your energy. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Make sure you're taking time where pause throughout the day, sit against the wall. Lie down on the floor and put your feet up on the wall and just do deep breaths and just be flat on the ground. It's going to really rejuvenate you really quick, maybe 2-3 minutes at a time. Then with your water intake, higher water intake right now, you're just going to have more energy. You're going to be able to be in that fat burning phase. and your food. The more that you can eat clean and enjoy your food in the process of making it, it's gonna help a lot. Make it beautiful right now, make it lively. Go find new recipes and meal prep. You're stuck at home or you have more time at home, so meal prep more. You got that time to do that. And then freeze your meals, right? So have it all there. And then your fitness, what a great time to go for a walk. What a great time to do your workout. Maybe do half of it in the morning, half of it at night, or do a double day right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm pulling double days. Some days I'm doing it. I'm at least working out once a day, and I'm also walking at least once a day. And then on top of that, I'm trying to get to that place where I'm doing like 2 workouts a day with a walk, just because it just helps with just being in one place for an extended period of time. So one more thing I just want to offer you guys is something to leave you with today is, like we've talked about, we had our energy that we need to focus on, we have our food that we have to focus on, we have our fitness that we need to focus on, but also allow yourself to be interrupted in this time. When that interruption comes up, don't feel frustrated with it, allow it to come, be okay with it, because as those interruptions come, it gives you a moment to pause, it gives you a moment to rethink things. But let's just go after this week. Let's have a different perspective on this week. What is this week going to be about? So I want to just encourage you guys with the understanding, let's set your week up today for this week to come. And then also let's take charge of this week. Let's not, the first week we had in this was just more of, everything coming at us. Now you kind of have an idea. So I really would love for you to just take hold of this week. Set some goals for your fitness, kind of go what you're used to doing and doing just a tad bit more. Go for walks, take time for you, meal prep, do all that, and understand the biggest things for us in this time is we will be better because of this time. And I want that just to ring loudly for you. We're gonna be better, we're gonna be okay, and not only that, we're gonna thrive. So let's thrive this week. Let's stay on top of our nutrition this week. Let's not let anything get in the way this week, but let's master this week. All right? So I'm proud of you all, and keep it up.